Hi everyone, this is Sabrina. I'm here to share our little Barnes & Noble's goodies. We go to Barnes & Noble's at least once a year at the end of the school year, primarily to pick up summer reading. It's one of our favorite places to go. I used to be an avid reader, but then life and work and children take over, so I'm actually in the process of trying to get back into reading and going through my list of 100 books to read, which I've been working on for about 3 years already. Anyway, we are preparing to go on vacation in about a week, so it was about that time to visit Barnes & Noble anyway, and we went to go pick up some reading material for myself, my husband, and my youngest son. Just before going to Barnes & Noble, of course, I see a video, and Jeannie, who is Happily Ella After here on YouTube, I'll put a link to her channel in the description box. She had a video of her Barnes & Noble haul, and in her video I saw a book and I went bananas because I just had to have that book. And my husband, who is he's the awesomest, I call him Mr. Incredible. My husband he bends over backwards to help me get anything that, if it's something that makes me happy or something I can be creative with, he just really bends over backwards to give me what I want. So anyway, he calls Barnes & Noble to let me back up. So I went online to try to find the book that Jeannie showed in her video, and it is published by a magazine, but it's in the UK. And so they did have the book available, but the shipping was more than even the cost of the book. So it was just ridiculous. And in the process of looking for that book, I discovered the magazine. I discovered another book by one of the authors, one of the editors. So that other book was coming up as readily available locally. So I was trying to look for that book as well. When I went to Michael's, my youngest son, my 13-year-old, he tends to look at the books. He's not a huge reader, but he loves books. Go figure. I don't know. So he found a book at Michael's, and Michael's would not allow us to use the coupon or even my husband's educated discount. So we said we would wait until we went to Barnes & Noble. So my husband calls Barnes & Noble for that other book. Am I confusing everybody? I'm confusing myself. So for the book that my son found in Michael's, my husband calls Barnes & Noble for that book to make sure that they do have it so that we can pick it up on our trip. And they did. So I told my husband about this other book that Jeannie found, and he calls back and they do not have it. So then he calls the Barnes & Noble where we are preparing to go on vacation. They do not have it. So then he calls the Barnes & Noble in the state where Jeannie is, because I have a sister there. So we call that Barnes & Noble to see if maybe my sister could go pick it up, or even if they would ship it to us. They don't have it. We're calling all of these Barnes & Noble, well, my husband is, for this book. Couldn't find it. Nobody has it. It comes to the States in limited quantities, etc., etc. So I say, okay, you know what, don't worry about it. I'm not going to cry about it. You know, I'll have to wait until next year. The book only comes out, they publish it once a year. So I went to Barnes & Noble, you know, trying to look for the other book that the same editors put out, one of the authors. So in Barnes & Noble, I find the actual magazine, and this is actually 2 issues behind. So this is issue 22, and they are already up to 24. The magazine is Flow, and the book is actually produced by this magazine. There are 2 editors. I think I'm going to do a separate video on Flow itself, because I could sit here and talk forever. When I look them up online, This magazine, they created this magazine about 9 years ago, and it's two women. They publish it in the UK. It's I believe started as a Dutch magazine, but the premise is about slowing down and taking time, but they combine that with their love of paper. So there are papers in the magazine. Like this is a photo booklet. Like there's little things you can take out and do projects on. Like I said, I think I'm gonna do a separate video just so that I can talk more extensively, because this has come to me at just the perfect time. Mentally, I just feel like I've been overwhelmed. Just, I can't even explain right now. Just a lot. And I tend to overwhelm myself. I start many projects. I start 2, 3, 4 projects at once, and I get overwhelmed. There's always 101 chores. So lately I've been telling my husband I feel like I need to slow down. And this has come at the perfect time. So I go into Barnes and Noble. I did pick up this magazine. I found it after. I go to the crafting section, looking for card making, scrapbooking, paper crafting, those magazines that they have. And when I walk in and I start looking around just for an alternative, I go to the magazine rack and I found the book. Okay, I'm trying not to get too excited on camera. I found the book. It was tucked in between some other magazines. I guess it's published as a magazine because there's no ISBN number, and it's in the magazine section, and there was only one, and I felt like that book was sitting right there for me because I had a good attitude about not finding it. and God, to me, is even in the small things. And I found the book and I jumped all over that aisle. So this is the book that Jeannie showed in her video, and it's made by the same publishers of this magazine. They put this book out once a year, and it's Flow Book for Paper Lovers. This is their 5th edition, and this book is filled with all different types of papers. This particular issue, they have papers from all the different regions, so north, south, east, west, tags, postcards. I've seen it flip through. I've seen people flip through. I don't know that I'm going to flip through this here. You can make your own little mini notebooks. Stickers, punch outs. I can't, I'm speechless right now. I'm speechless. I keep looking at it and flipping through, and I'm really excited to have this book. I think I'm gonna have a little bit of an issue taking it apart, but that's what the book is for. You take it apart and you use it, and you use the papers, and you use all the little stickers and things that they give you so that you can create. Jeannie, I don't know if you're watching, but thank you, girl. Thank you for sharing. Again, I think these books only come to the States in limited quantities. They don't send a lot of them. This particular issue it comes out once a year. I guess as I start taking the book apart and making things with the papers and all the different things in this book, I'll share. But I am so thrilled. I am so thrilled and excited to find this book. I love to find things that are a little bit different. The same but different. That's what I tell my husband. I like the same but different. So, You know, we all look for paper and we look for pretty stationery and things to create with, but it's awesome to find something that not everybody has. Something that's a little bit different, something that you can put a twist on. So I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm so excited about this book, guys. If you can find it in Barnes and Noble, it's pricey. It is pricey. To me, I feel that it's worth it. It's $31. And we were able to get my husband's 20% educated discount. So I think it came out to 27 or something like that. But to me, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it because it was like buying a very special and unique paper pack. So very excited. All right, we're gonna move along because I could sit here and just look through this book over and over and over again. So I found the book. They did have a flow section, and as I showed you previously, I found the magazine. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the editors, one of the, actually no, it's both of them, Irene Smith and Astrid Vanderhulst. This was the other book that is more readily available. It's a book that takes its time. And again, I think I'm going to do a separate video because I wanted to talk about the introduction. I wanted to talk about the purpose of this book and how these two ladies, how they came up with the concept for the magazine and for their books. This particular book, again, it's the book that takes its time, and they give you, there's little, like, these are about writing beautiful moments that you've experienced. Like each chapter kind of gives you a task or an activity. There you go. Gives you an activity that you can do, whether it's writing or I haven't even been through this whole book, but I was looking for this book when I couldn't find the other book, with the intention of possibly picking a chapter or picking an activity and doing that with my son while we were on vacation. We try to unplug. We're not always good at it, but we try to unplug. So I was looking for this book to find an activity and something, you know, to do with my son. And he does like to sketch. Oh, I didn't even see this. What is this? These are little cards. I'm not going to open it. Okay, I didn't even know that was back there. I haven't looked through the whole book. So, in looking for this book so that I can do some activities with my son, this was the book that my son found in Michael's, and we ended up getting it at Barnes and Noble's. Again, I had never heard of this, Wreck This Journal, and it's by Carrie Smith. And we looked her up, and she also has a series of books. So Wreck This Journal is literally that. She talks about, she says to create is to destroy. And she doesn't mean destruction in terms of destroying something and throwing it away. What I get from what she's saying is that to destroy is to deconstruct and then make something else out of what you're taking apart. So I don't journal, I bullet journal. I'm not very good at keeping journals and staying consistent with it. Neither is my son. I've tried to give him a sketch journal or writing journal, all different types of journal, but this truly appealed to him because there are all different. For example, pour, spill, drip, spit. We're not doing the spitting thing. I already told him that. Fling different colored drinks here. Document colors of your diner by you smear your food. I don't know that I'm really with that. Trace the things in your bag or pockets. Close your eyes, connect the dots. It's just a number of ways. And I guess the idea was, she mentioned in one of her videos, was that when she takes her journal with her, when you're journaling and you keep your journal with you, life happens. You spill food, you drop your journal, your hands get dirty, you know, stuff gets on your journal. It's not always this beautiful, precise, artistic creation. do some rubbings with a pencil crayon. So there are all different types of activities for him to do. Crack the spine. She said most people have a lot of problem with, cracking the spine of the book. Cutting up the book. There's different sections to cut out. So this was really appealing to him, and I think we'll have a lot of fun with this. So you might want to check it out, Wreck This Journal. And I know my video is going a little bit long. So my son also likes to read graphic novels, and we got him Guardians of the Galaxy. And this here was, I haven't read it. I'm probably going to read this with my son. This is one of my husband's favorite books, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. I'm not exactly sure what this book is about, but we wanted my son to actually read something, not just draw and read the comic book. So this is the book that we picked for him for his summer reading. And then my husband picked up Dan Brown. He's a Dan Brown fan. The Lost Symbol, which this looks like a really fat book, and my husband is not a reader, although he has read several of Dan Brown's books. So it'll be interesting to see how far along he gets in this book. And then I bought my husband The Art of Leadership, a practical guide for people in positions of responsibility. So this should be a quick, easy read. And that was it. It was more than enough. That was our trip to Barnes & Noble. I hope you guys like what you see, and hopefully I can inspire someone the way Jeannie inspired me. I love reading, and as I said, I'm trying to get back into it. So hopefully you're inspired to pick up something to read, or pick up one of these flow books to create with. And I don't know, maybe I'll make a video just about flow and these two ladies, because I think they're awesome. All right, guys. Thank you for staying with me for such a long video, and I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. I can't wait to go on vacation, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.